everybody. It's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman. And I just got back from seeing Captain Marvel, the new Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. And before I get into the actual movie itself, I always talk about the trailers. I am grossly disappointed in pretty much everything cinematic at this point. I'm going to see a Marvel movie and you don't have an Endgame trailer, you don't have a Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, you have Lion King, the Fast and Furious spin-off movie, because now Fast and Furious has its own universe and its own spin-off movies, which my good friend Frankie Love called Calvin and Hobbes. Should have been called that. You have a trailer for Frozen 2? Look, I get off on cartoon and video game women now as well, but as much as I love Anna and Elsa, what the hell are you going to do with a Frozen 2? Frozen 1 was barely anything close to Ice Queen, the movie was supposed to be, or the book it was supposed to be based on. You have Lion King live action, and you have Shazam. Fucking-Zam. The guy that had controversy for calling himself Captain Marvel originally in DC Comics, not with Marvel, not originally, but then with Marvel, when they had Captain Marvel, the Kree Warrior. And you show that trailer before Captain Marvel, the next big Marvel movie. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this. I don't know what is going on with the cinematic universe in general. Anyway, on to the actual movie. Now, I just want everybody to know about me. In general, I'm a huge male feminist. Love my women. And I just want you to know that before I saw this movie, I read at least 60 Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel comics. And in one of them, it mentioned how she was, and I actually read the comic when she called herself Captain Marvel, which was 2012. And I read the series where at the first page of every single comic, it announced she was the most powerful Avenger. The strongest Avenger was Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and she was the leader of the Avengers. It says that in the comic. So before we get into any kind of misogynistic, male-chauvinistic bullshit, seeing as how it's National Women's Day, which should be every day, but whatever the case, before you start getting off on how it's all feministic and empowering this, that, and the other thing, let me just explain something to you. Stan Lee and a few others originally created Carol Danvers' Miss Marvel to be the strongest Avenger. So this is not just pandering to a female audience. This is the way it is in the comics. And I know that Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel had nothing to do with the Infinity War or Infinity Gauntlets, but you know what? Neither did Black Panther. Captain America was kind of there. Iron Man was sort of there, but the main characters in those series of comics, which is one reason why my favorite Scott from Suplex Music doesn't want to watch these movies, were Adam Warlock, who hasn't been introduced yet. No, he's been teased, but not introduced. Galactus, who is nowhere to be found. Doctor Strange, who disappeared. And Magus, who is a dark entity from Adam Warlock, who hasn't been introduced yet. So they're kind of missing the boat here when it comes to the accuracy of the characters. But if you're making a cinematic universe based on the Avengers, then having the strongest Avenger and a leader of the Avengers in Ms. Marvel's Captain Marvel, Binary Warbird, is not really pushing it. Really. And as a fan of these comics, of this character, I can tell you that true fans of her comics made this movie. Directed it, put it together. Even me, knowing all the names, Marvel, Jan Rock, knowing all the names, knowing about Ronin, knowing about the Accuser, knowing about all these things and the Kree and Palma and Hala, knowing all the things that I know, which is pretty much her first 23 issues, an entire graphic novel of 500 plus pages involving her actions during the Civil War, involving her going into alternate universes to kill off Rogue and herself as Warbird, knowing all the things I know about Carol Danvers and her character, I can tell you in full confidence, this is not reading Wikipedia or Marvel database online, this is from my experience, this is Carol Danvers. And there have been situations in her comics history that emulated and were assimilated to what was going on in this movie. So if you want accuracy, there are some differences, minor differences. The names Marvel and Yun-Rog are in here. Her best friend was different, but with the exception of her not remembering who she was, which I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm sure from the trailers you've noticed she doesn't remember who she is. It wasn't so much that, it was that she would flip between, originally, she would flip between Carol Danvers and Ms. Marvel. So when she was Ms. Marvel, she was the Kree warrior, and when she was Carol Danvers, she was just Carol Danvers. But her absorbing energies, her being stronger than a Kree, all that stuff, flying in space without respirators or anything, yeah, that's her. Fighting through everything and wanting to be the best, yeah, that's her. That's one of the reasons why I became a huge fan of Carol Danvers, and I'm a huge Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel fan. So they kind of put everything together, the binary, she just wasn't, I don't want to spoil it, she wasn't captured by the Brood, but they put it all together, and even the fact that the Kree wanted her for weapons purposes was in this. Everything. It was, for a fan of her comics, it was tremendous. As a movie itself, it's really good. It's among one of the best that Marvel's made, especially in recent history. Easily one of the best Marvel's made. So, if you like to keep this, and by the way, the end credits, yeah. Especially the first one. Second one, you can do what you want with it, but the first one, oh, yeah. So, I definitely recommend this movie, if you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're a DC fan and you're looking forward to Shazam, you're probably not going to like it. But if you've read any of the Captain Ms. Marvel, if you've read any of them, you definitely get it. You will see parallels. And they are really, I always say the obscure ones, though she shouldn't be obscure, the obscure ones are the ones that get the best movies, the best intro movies. And this one was, without a doubt, showing that Marvel is not missing its stride. It's not losing its step. It's really going to hit hard with Endgame, most likely. Also, they have a nice tribute for Stan Lee in the beginning. So, yeah, definitely check it out. And thank you all for watching, and more views soon to come. So stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.